True your freedom.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth.
If we've learned anything, folks, it's that it's hard to win on defense. It's hard to score points on defense. SHTF is largely defensive for us, sadly, right? When things go really, really bad, we fall back on our defenses, our food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, our plans, right? But this is an odd SHTF. It's not Mad Max where we're running around on the defensive, right? This is that slow burn, right, that we've been in. And it started quietly. They lit the fuse, and we saw the consequences in September of 2019. Well, by the spring of 2020, we were in full-blown defense. Attack was coming against us with Cerveza bug. President Trump was president, right? We thought, okay, he can handle this. We'll be okay. And then he lost. He lost the election to Joe Biden. We all know the details, and those details are continuing to come out, and they're continuing to be challenged, and they're continuing to be talked about. It's not going away. It's not settled. It's incredibly controversial. And we've been backpedaling, you and I, Americans, the whole world, in fact, as these World Economic Forum globalist scumbags push their puppets into position. That we're at a strange place. We said, you know, Joe Biden, he's in such bad shape, he won't make it 6 months. Well, he's made it 3 times that, 18 months. But he is falling apart and falling apart fast. How can we turn this around, folks? How can we use this to our advantage? Well, they're hurting us so badly. Me, you, everyone around the world, so badly with inflation, fuel shortages. And now we're being threatened with food shortages because they're refusing to allow fertilizer. They're refusing to allow farmers to do their job. And they're also telling us we need to eat fake meat and bugs. Bugs, folks, bugs. Crickets, grasshoppers, locusts, worms, beetle grubs. Give me a freaking break. But get this. They have hurt us so bad, so much, so fast, that everyone is waking up and getting red-pilled as Joe Biden in the United States goes down, down, down. Not only, folks, not only in the polls, but his health, right? Now, do we wish ill on him? No, I want him to be fully cognizant. I want him to be fully cognizant of the evil he is doing so that he can be held accountable. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It's time we went on the offensive, though. And I think the Republicans are doing that, and we need to encourage them. This is where you, prep to action, come in. I want you to get active and call, write, text, email, message, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or tie a note on a safety tipped arrow and deliver it, right, to Washington and tell them, push for this. And this is what's happening. 50 Republican congressmen have now signed on demanding that the President of the United States take a cognitive test that is prove he is competent, right? Not prove that he's Einstein, not prove that he's George Washington, but prove that his brain works. That is a huge indictment, folks, against the mental acuity, just the basics. This man needs to be sit down and forced to prove that he is in charge of himself, at the very least. Now, why is this important? We know he's a doddering old fool. We know he's got dementia symptoms. We know he's falling apart. We know they hide him and then pump him full of drugs and then push him back out in front of the crowds. He's shaking hands with nobody. He gets lost on stage. He craps his pants. He farts on royalty. Right? He gets lost and confused. No one really wants to talk to him if he's not in front of a camera, because what's the point? You're talking to a stone cold dumbass. And the White House is being run by who? A bunch of freaks who from behind the curtain are pretending this is all Biden policy. Now, understand this, right? If he takes a cognitive test and fails, then there needs to be a 25th Amendment move to get him out of office. Who does that put in power? Kamala. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, in a sense, it's a very, very bad thing for the country. Could it be worse than where we're at with Joe Biden? I'm going to argue couldn't be any worse. It's just maybe a little different flavor of the same horror show we've been dealing with. But see, what we need to take away is the ability of the mainstream media, the political leftists, the socialists, the Democrats, and their masters take away them doing things on their time frame, their schedule, as they see fit, as their plans come about. And we need to force the issue. We need to force Kamala out in front of this election, before this election, and show her to be the incompetent moron that she is. We need to make her look bad now and continue to make her look bad. I mean, she's the one that makes herself look bad. We just need to make sure the spotlight stays on her. She won't have the excuse, oh, I need my oatmeal and a nap. She won't need the excuse that Joe Biden has. She doesn't have the gravitas. She doesn't have the clout. Unbelievable, folks. How far this country is pushed for socialism. Now, speaking of gravitas, let's go back to 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? The Bush administration. They said that President Bush was incompetent. Compared to Biden, wow. Now, let's focus on Cheney a little more. It was said that he has the gravitas, right? Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney, hated by the media, hated by the left. Now, folks, the left has run so far into the fascist laps of the same masters that they love Cheney, right? Only this time it's in the form of Liz Piggy Cheney, daughter of Dick Cheney. She's their hero, right? She hates freedom and liberty. Are we seeing something here? Freedom and liberty, hated by the political left, globalism, and the mainstream media. So these Republicans that are pushing for a cognitive test for Joe Biden, it's about time they started doing something. Not to embarrass him, but to make the Democrats move, right? Ahead of time, before they're ready. We need to be on the offensive before things are so bad that we have no choice but to be on our SHTF defensive. Take the fight to them, right? You don't win by sitting back on your heels and getting pushed around. That's why I say speak up. My mother used to say, speak now or forever hold your peace. I agree. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Stand up for yourself, your parents, your children, your grandchildren, everything that you hold sacred and dear. Make demands. The time for whining is done. The time for him-hawing is done. The time for begging, it doesn't work. It is time to make demands of these people. We are free. It is our country, folks. Definitely get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Go to thepreparedmind.club. Get prepared. So if you're forced on the defense, ultimately you're good. And for now, we have the ability to fight. 2022 is huge. Absolutely huge. Let's fight like we mean it. Let's fight like free Americans. Let's stand up and act like men. It is time. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Aren't you glad you are a prepper? God bless America. Semper Fi.